Incredibly windy.
Oh,
Gee.
yeah, that fire looks dangerous.
Yeah, exactly. It wasn't when I started, but now it is. Yeah.
Good evening, everybody.
Hey, Neely, how are you?
I'm doing well. I hope you all are too.
Yes, ma'am. Doing very well. You look all nice and warmly bundled up. You're in
I
that
am
cold room, huh?
Although tomorrow night I saw the low is going to be like 60 or something crazy.
Yeah, well, I was out walking at like 5 o'clock and it was pretty warm. I mean, I did have my layers on, but it was nice. So, yay.
And I don't know about your area, Donna, but my daffodils are coming up.
Oh, mine are blooming already. So, yeah, great. I love springtime.
It's 7 o'clock, so let's begin reading by setting our motivation. I'm going to read the motivation, page 561. I think I hear an echo. No matter what the cost, I shall attain the precious state of complete enlightenment for the welfare of all living beings. For that purpose, I'm going to listen to these king-like instructions on the stage of the path. That was on the bottom of page 561. Okay, so now I'll share the screen so we can set our group motivation or the preliminary prayers. I go for refuge until I'm enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Supreme Assembly. By the merit I create the listening to the Dharma, may I become a Buddha in order to benefit all sentient beings. I go for refuge until I'm enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Supreme Assembly. By the merit I create the listening to the Dharma, may I become a Buddha in order to benefit all sentient beings. I go for refuge until I'm enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Supreme Assembly. By the merit I create the listening to the Dharma, may I become a Buddha in order to benefit all sentient beings. Now the mandala offering is ground anointed with perfume, strewn with flowers, adorned with mild meru for continents, the sun and the moon. I imagine this as a Buddha field and offer it. May all living beings enjoy this pure land. O holy and perfect pure Lama from the clouds of compassion that form in the skies of your Dharmakaya wisdom, please release a rain of vast and profound Dharma precisely in accordance with the needs of those to be trained. Idam Guru Ratnamandalakam Niryatayami. Okay. All right, so now I'm going to I'm going to start reading, and we are in the section 559 if you have the hard copy, day 29. And in the section, do not be irritable, which is point 20. So I'm going to actually start at the bottom of page 558. When others do not respect us and so forth, despite the fact that we are engaging in mind training, we should not become irritable by considering the various types of activity they engage in. When others discredit and criticize in front of many others and do things such as inflicting the most severe type of humiliation on us, we should not become angry, but instead diligently ensure that it becomes part of our mind training as an antidote to our afflictive emotions. There are two things that we should not do, even for an instant. 1, we should not become angry and dependent upon the slightest condition and remain with an unpleasant facial expression or complain after having gone a short distance by saying things such as, "This is so difficult." If we demonstrate a multitude of changing facial expressions, oscillating between happiness and sadness, we will create uneasiness in the minds of our companions and so forth. We should not act like the sky in springtime that is constantly undergoing change. 2, we should not act like someone who meditates on something like the Lamrim at first and then dispenses with it after one session. Our enthusiastic perseverance should be like the flow of a river. 21, do not be fickle. 22, do not wish to be thanked. This refers to thinking I am meditating on mind training, so I deserve honor, gain, and fame, or wishing for others to say things like, just thank you so much, and you are extremely compassionate. Therefore, you should not have any hopes of receiving benefit in return for hardships you endure during your Dharma practice, or the slight benefit you bring others, or receiving the slightest renown applauding your compassion. For example, you should not even wish that someone will say you were compassionate to me. Therefore, you should not have even the slightest hope of being thought of as a mind training meditator, like someone saying whether or not you were helpful. Next, the teaching from the 7-point mind training is concluded with the Bodhisattva Geshe as saying, I attain confidence in bodhicitta and attain stability in mind training. Because of my numerous aspirations, I have overcome the sad tale of suffering and, having received the instructions for subduing self-grasping now, even at death, I will have no regrets. Bodhisattva Cheko is saying that he has obtained self-confidence by stating that he has received numerous instructions on mind training, and that by meditating on them he gave birth to realizations in his mental continuum, due to which his mind is delighted and he will have no regrets even at death. Day 30. The king of the Dharma, Tsongkhapa the Great, stated in one of his compositions, although you may develop this mind along the 3 types of moral discipline, it is not sufficient for us to attain the temporary state of higher status or the definite goodness of mere liberation. Instead, we must attain the state of omniscience. The intelligent cause for accomplishing that is to develop the precious mind of bodhicitta. However, it is not sufficient to merely develop that bodhicitta. Instead, we must also train in the deeds of a bodhisattva. The bodhisattva's deeds consist of the 6 transcendent perfections and the 4 ways of gathering disciples. If we condense those even further, they are embodied in 3 types of moral discipline, so these 3 are important. For that reason, after we develop bodhicitta, we definitely need to train in the vast deeds of bodhisattva. Therefore, think, no matter what the cost, I will attain the precious state of complete enlightenment for the welfare of all living beings. For that purpose, I'm going to listen to these king-like instructions on the stages of the path. Once we have developed bodhicitta, we are permitted to train in the deeds of a bodhisattva and so forth. If we meditate on love, compassion, and bodhicitta for a long time and with great intensity, it will not be a hardship to train in the deeds of a bodhisattva. According to the repeated explanations I have already given earlier about the means of training in bodhicitta, if we don't make a sincere effort in the oral instructions of Atisha's Kadampa tradition, such as the stages of the path of 3 types of beings, there is no way that it will be effective. Kagyu Dagpo Laje Gampopa stated. If you wish to truly understand whatever Dharma you practice will be profound. If you don't wish to truly understand the meaning, whatever Dharma you practice will not be profound. Geshe Dontopa knew the inconceivable Dharma of secret Tantra and gained certainty in the 3 scopes of beings. Therefore, he was constantly engaged in meditation on love and compassion. Because of that, all migrating beings develop faith in Dontopa. Presently, the teachings of the Kadampas are being propagated, which is due to his work on the 3 scopes of beings. Likewise, Lotsoa Rinchen Zangpo had already met 16 Panditas, yet he didn't have the instructions on love and compassion. Once he met the great Atisha, he truly understood love and compassion, and he became a Mahasiddha. Likewise, from the 3 yogis on down and from Geshe Atisha on up, All the Kadampas truly understood the beings of the three scopes in their minds, which came from their meditations on love and compassion. For that reason, it is stated, conventional bodhicitta is of great importance. It is the principal part of the beginning, since if we don't have it, we won't enter the path of the Mahayana. It is the principal part in the middle, since without it, we will fall into the paths of the Shravakas and Pratyeka Buddhas. This is the principal part of at the conclusion, since without it, the two bodies will not emerge. And so-and-so said, in a dream I found a leather amulet, to which Gompa Treyung said, show it to me. To this, so-and-so replied, no, I'm not going to show it to you. To which Gompa Treyung replied, in there are the relics of Atisha jade that contain the teachings of the Kadampas. Therefore, you should open it. So I dreamt. Currently, whatever small amount of benefit there is for others is dependent upon the Kadam teachings. Naropa taught many instructions, but was of very slight benefit because he lacked a connection with Kadam. If it is not related to the teachings of the Kadam, then the benefit will be very little. This is saying that we should abide in an honest mind. At this point, I am not going to give a detailed explanation on how to train in the vows of engaging bodhicitta. Instead, we should learn them in combination with Je Tsongkhapa's commentary on the chapter of moral discipline from Asanga's bodhisattva levels. Make a concerted effort in practice during the beginning of the chapter of the ornament of clear realization and engage in the practice of the Mahayana at the end of the first chapter. Furthermore, once we accept the vows, we should learn their precepts. For that purpose, we should learn how to accomplish the practice of understanding, the practice of entering, the practice of accumulating merit and wisdom, and the practice of definite emergence. Although in general there was a monk from China named Hashang, the proper Hashang did not hold wrong views. With respect to the teaching of Hashang, we are discussing from this point onward. However, he is called Hashang Mahayana and is the improper Hashang who established an evil system of wrong views in Tibet. This person holding wrong views appeared in Tibet as Shantarakshita was about to die, and Shantarakshita gave a prophecy stating, if you invite my disciple, Kamalashila, he will be able to subjugate him. This is the historical background of Hashang Mahayana. Only the Buddha is free from both extremes of samsara and peace. Knowing this, do not abide in peace. Thus, we should not even grasp at the attainment of nirvana or peace. Day 31. Glorious Chandrakirti stated in his Guide to the Middle Way, the King of Geese spreads his broad white wings of conventional truth and thatness, and soars ahead of the geese of living beings. Then, to the force of the winds of virtue, they travel to the supreme and reach the other shore of the ocean of the conqueror's good qualities. The mode of existence of the conventional is the conventional truth of all phenomena, and thatness is the mode of existence of the ultimate truth. The King of Geese, endowed with the two wings of conventional truth and ultimate truth, can travel through the sky without obstruction. In the same way, we absolutely must work to reach the other shore of the ocean-like good qualities of the conqueror, by way of being skilled in the essential points of the true truths and being endowed with method and wisdom, whereby we accumulate the union of the two accumulations. In that way, the unmistaken key features of the true truths are commonly referred to as the supreme instructions of the teacher. With respect to training in the general bodhisattva deeds, with the exception of tranquil abiding and superior seeing, there is no need for me to explain it again. An explanation of the stages of training and the precepts. Although you may generate bodhicitta, if you don't learn the precepts, you will not be able to attain complete enlightenment. Therefore, it is not sufficient to merely develop bodhicitta. Instead, you must train in the activities of a bodhisattva. Furthermore, if you possess the vows of Tantra in addition to the common 6 transcendent perfections, even the paths of generation and completion stages are included within the 6 perfections. You don't need much more than the 6 transcendent perfections for all the activities of a bodhisattva. They are also not contained in any fewer than 6. Their specific enumerations, benefits, and so forth are explained clearly in Je Tsongkhapa's great and middle-length treatises on the stages of the path to enlightenment. Beginners are traditionally not given an extensive explanation other than those who have an extremely vast and well-established foundation in the 6 transcendent perfections. Therefore, at this time, I am going to teach little more than the essential meaning of the 6 transcendent perfections and so forth. Most of the rest of the section on the 6 transcendent perfections will be transmitted through the power of the oral transmission alone. The sections on tranquil abiding and superior seeing will be explained in a little more detail. For that, We employ the 6 transcendent perfections to ripen our own mental continuums, and the 4 ways of gathering disciples to ripen the mental continuum of others. The 6 transcendent perfections. The 6 transcendent perfections has 6 sections: 1, generosity; 2, moral discipline; 3, patience; 4, joyous perseverance; 5, concentration; 6, wisdom. Generosity. With respect to the essence of generosity, it is an act of body and speech induced by the mind of giving. The essence of the transcendent perfection of generosity is being thoroughly familiar with the mind of giving that does not have the least bit of stinginess and gives everything that one possesses of body and enjoyments, including the roots of virtues of the 3 times. Therefore, there are 2 special features of generosity. Through that explanation, you should also understand moral discipline and so forth. Thus, Shantideva's guide to the Bodhisattva's way of life also states, the perfection of giving is said to be a mind of giving all one's possessions, together with the results of all beings. Thus, it is the nature of mind itself. We should recollect the benefits of generosity, which will give rise to a very powerful, joyful desire to practice the transcendent perfection of generosity. Of the 3 types of generosity, giving material things is giving articles and includes giving to ants and other creatures. If we sequentially train to give as much as we possibly can, from the very small, such as water and wood, on up, eventually we will even be able to give our life and our actual physical possessions, and will have the benefit of not going to waste. Atisha's disciple, Shang Tsung of Yurpa, said, once you offer your drinking cup on up to someone else, it is on loan until you die. When you die, they can keep it. The sutra requested by Vishnu states, child of the lineage, Bodhisattva, great being, should generate bodhicitta in this way. If I give completely even my body to all living beings, what need is there to mention my external possessions? How many living beings there are, and whatever they need, I must give them these various things. While we are training in the Bodhisattva vows, once we are placed under the power of the conqueror's sons, we make a promise to give our body, life, and so forth. Therefore, we must not deceive them. With respect to giving protection from fear, this is protecting the life of another. We should train in stages, beginning with the very small, by rescuing a bug that has fallen into a stream or watermill, saving a small fish being scorched by the sun, and so forth. With respect to giving dharma, this should be motivated by your own desire to teach and for the other person to have the desire to listen, and includes teaching as little as 1 verse. Even reciting a scripture, learning text, or discussing dharma as part of a conversation with a beneficial intention that includes employing methods for subduing the minds of others becomes giving dharma and is a practice of the bodhisattvas. A householder principally gives material things. Bodhisattvas who are ordained primarily give dharma. Everyone should practice giving the protection of fearlessness by protecting humans and non-humans from the fear of being harmed. Inappropriate giving by way of material substances refers to giving things such as your 3 dharma ropes as material things, since they are like weapons against fear caused by the accumulation of negative karma, or giving texts that contain commentaries revealing bad views, religious disciplines, and so forth. With respect to inappropriate giving by means of time, this refers to giving an afternoon meal to those who are ordained, and so forth. Therefore, instead of presenting external offerings to the ordained, best thing is the offering of practice afternoon. Although you should train your mind in giving your body, it is inappropriate to actually give away your body until you have thoroughly perfected your meditation on compassion. Once your mind is acquainted with the mind of giving, if you can give your body without any more difficulty than you would have with the idea of merely giving a vegetable, it is time to give your body, which is the most supreme form of giving. Shantideva's Compendium of Training states, giving, protecting, purifying, and increasing. Tsongkhapa also mentioned Olga Retreat Facility that although there are difficult tasks to be carried out for training the mind in the deeds of a bodhisattva and dependence upon the Flower Ornament Sutra, there are ways of attaining the confidence that is not frightened of giving. It is not appropriate to give scriptures to someone such as a non-Buddhist who has the wish to seek out something to criticize. With respect to the benefits of generosity, the summary of meaning states, generosity is the wish-fulfilling jewel that fulfills the hopes of migrating beings. It is the supreme weapon for annihilating the demon of miserliness. Develop bravery that is not discouraged by the deeds of a bodhisattva. It is the foundation of your fame residing in the 10 directions. Moral discipline. With respect to the nature of moral discipline of a moral disciple, it is a mind that has abandoned harming others together with the basis of such harm. Of its three divisions, with respect to the moral discipline of restraint from misdeeds for the ordained, this is abandoning that which is discordant with the three vows of moral discipline. And even for a householder, it is refraining from the 10 non-virtues and so forth, and protecting the moral discipline of the 10 virtues. With respect to the moral discipline of gathering virtuous dharmas, this is generating those who have not yet generated, increasing those that have already generated. With respect to the moral discipline of working for the welfare of living beings, all the methods of working for the welfare of living beings are done within the context of already having bodhicitta. Those three types of moral discipline include the deeds of a bodhisattva in their entirety. Therefore, they also embody the 6 transcendent perfections. It is for that reason that Je Rinpoche Tsongkhapa said they are a heap of blessings. Even though you have merely generated bodhicitta, while training on the general deeds of a bodhisattva, such as the 3 types of moral discipline and so forth, the other transcendent perfections are not taught separately from the 3 types of moral discipline. With respect to the benefits of moral discipline, this was already explained in a fair amount of detail during the section on the being of middle scope. In short, in his Songs of Spiritual Experience, Je Lama Tsongkhapa declared, moral discipline is the water cleansing the impurities of faults, the light of the moon dispelling the painful heat of the afflictions, resplendent like the beings in the center of Mount Meru, all beings bow to its non-intimidating power. Through this knowledge, the holy beings protect the discipline of perfect restraint, like their eyes. Patience. Regarding the nature of patience, it is the mind of virtue that does not become agitated by suffering or harm inflicted by another. Of its 3 divisions, with respect to the patience of enduring harm, this refers to not becoming angry even if all living beings rise up as your enemies. As the line in Lama Chöpa states, become angry, humiliate, criticize, threaten, or even kill me. Furthermore, it will not be beneficial if you become angry and patience does not come easily. Previously, the disciple of a Lama was only told that he should meditate on patience for others continuously. One day a thief appeared and the disciple started beating the thief to the point of almost killing him. Even when his Lama came, he couldn't help his disciple to calm down, so the Lama put his finger on his disciple's nose and said, patience, patience, 3 times. As it states, you should recall patience from the beginning. It is absolutely necessary that this is the object of your meditation. The object of your anger is the foundation for the development of patience. Atisha J had one crude and annoying person in his presence named Acharya Manu, whom Atisha described as the foundation of my meditation on patience. Such things become a cause for our meditation on patience. Therefore, our enemy is very calm. If we have patience, all beings will see us as attractive. Even if you are a holy being, if you don't have patience, you are not attractive. Of the 3 types of patience, the patience of enduring harm is the most important of all. There are also means why anger is unacceptable and patience is necessary. For example, if the sky is obscured by clouds, we don't blame the clouds, but instead blame the sky. Yet it is not the fault of the sky, but the fault of the clouds. Therefore, it is inappropriate to blame the sky. We should blame the clouds. This is like when the monastery disciplinarian hits you on the head with a stick. If you're going to get angry with the actual inflictor of harm, you should be angry at the stick. If you consider the actions performed by the monastery disciplinarian is not to blame. The person who makes the monastery disciplinarian restless is actually just the afflictive emotions in his mental continuum. Therefore, if you are angry, it is inappropriate to be angry with the monastery disciplinarian, with the exception of his afflictive emotions. For that reason, if you are going to be angry with the agent of harm, it should begin with the stick, then the anger, and then your own karma that you should be angry at, since a monastery disciplinarian wields a stick after you reveal your body whereby the harm occurs. Their root cause also lies within your engagement in unwholesome acts. Furthermore, in an ultimate sense, we are meeting with our self-cherishing. Therefore, we should view our self-cherishing as our enemy and apply the methods to subdue it. Also, if our mother becomes insane and tries to kill us, it is inappropriate for us to be angry with her. We can utilize this means of applying metaphors to assist us in developing patience. Also, it is the nature of fire to burn. Therefore, when we are burned by fire, it is not due to not using caution when dealing with fire, so we do not get angry with the fire. Likewise, if the disciplinarian gets angry, since it is his nature to inflict harm, it is not appropriate for us to be angry at his nature either. This is illustrated in the story of Shantivadin. With respect to the patience of accepting suffering, Shantideva's guide to the Bodhisattva's way of life states, if a remedy exists, what use is there in being unhappy? If no remedy exists, what benefit is there in being unhappy? Whatever happens while practicing Dharma, such as lack of food and clothing, illness, harmful and interfering spirits, and so on, we should accept them by thinking, previously I accumulated powerful karma through my experience of the suffering samsara and the lower realms, and I am currently experiencing the result of those actions through which they are becoming eradicated. When physical suffering manifests, we should mentally develop joy. Not only that, but Shantideva's Guide to the Bodhisattva's Way of Life states, how is it unfortunate when a person sentenced to death is freed by having his hand cut off instead? Likewise, how is it unfortunate if a person is freed from hell through experiencing suffering? If we had our hand cut off instead of being killed, we would need to be patient with that and think, it is excellent that although I had my limb cut off, I wasn't killed. Likewise, if instead of having to experience the suffering of something like the hells, our negative karma were to ripen in this physical form we are currently utilizing for the practice of Dharma as something as insignificant as a bad headache. And if this were to substitute for being reborn in the lower realms, then we should think, whatever suffering I am currently experiencing is excellent. And the root text, becoming discouraged, is called being disheartened. Moreover, with respect to the good quality of suffering, Shantideva's Guide to the Bodhisattva's Way of Life states, arrogance is dispelled by disenchantment. You avoid negative actions and delight in virtue. There are numerous benefits in the occurrence of suffering. Therefore, it is excellent when suffering occurs. As I explained briefly before during the previous section on mind training, even not lying down to sleep and so forth, and instead engaging in meditation with an excellent sitting posture is the patience of accepting suffering. Regarding the patience of gaining firm conviction in the Dharma, this is the patience of training in memorizing and reciting religious texts and so forth, and once we have made a comparison, gaining an ascertainment of their meaning and contemplating those phenomena that are objects of attainment, such as the qualities of Buddha and so forth. It is also studying and contemplating the 12 limbs of Scripture, as well as coming to a definite understanding of what is to be adopted and forsaken, such as the virtuous and non-virtuous actions and so forth. In short, the faults of not meditating on patience and the benefits of meditating on it are stated in Shantideva's Guide to the Bodhisattva's Way of Life. There is no evil like anger. There is no fortitude like patience. Therefore, you should meditate in earnest in a variety of ways on the benefits of patience. Geshe Chingawa stated, striving to be the leader, once you are worried about being weak, patience is a supreme protection against sarcasm. Therefore, striving to be the leader is meaningless. Lama Tsongkhapa also stated in his Songs of Spiritual Experience, patience is the supreme ornament for the powerful, the austerity to offer when overcoming the delusions, the Garuda bird that destroys the enemy's snake of anger, the armor to protect oneself from the weapons of harsh speech. The Compendium of the Perfection of Wisdom Sutra states, patience leads to the attainment of the vast, excellent form of a Buddha, with its golden color that is worthy for migrating beings to behold. Even the attainment of the perfect and faultless body of the conqueror is primarily due to the mental imprint of meditating on patience. Joyous perseverance. With respect to the nature of joyous perseverance, Shantideva's Guide to the Bodhisattva's Way of Life states, what is effort? It is delighting in virtue. Thus, it is a mind that delights in virtuous actions. Of its three divisions with respect to armor-like joyous effort, this is like thinking, I am capable of practicing for the numerous eons required to accomplish even the good quality of a single hair pour of a Buddha. Furthermore, even if we calculate each day of each great eon as consisting of the beginningless time spent in samsara until the present, I am still able to accomplish it. In this way, you will not act out of foresight, short-sightedness. Lama Chirpa states, I seek your blessing complete the perfection of effort by striving for supreme enlightenment with unwavering compassion, even if I must remain for an ocean of eons dwelling within the flames of the lowest hell for the sake of each living being. This is like thinking, even if I must remain for 100 eons in hell for the sake of each and every being, it is appropriate for me to be patient. Even while a pupil is studying religious texts, he or she needs to remember this. With respect to the joyous effort of collecting virtue, this is the perseverance involved in assembling virtuous qualities such as the 6 perfections, which function to ripen our own mental continuums, the 4 ways of gathering disciples, which function to ripen the minds of others, and so forth. With respect to the joyous perseverance of working for the welfare of living beings, it accomplishes the welfare of living beings without weariness. The benefits of joyous perseverance are presented in Chandrakirti's Guide to the Middle Way when it states, all the good qualities follow from joyous perseverance. J. Rinpoche Tsongkhapa stated in his Song of Spiritual Experience, if you wear the armor of steady and irreversible effort, qualities and insights will increase like a waxing moon. All your actions will become meaningful, and all works begun will reach completion. Also, the prayer to Maitreya states, through the joyous perseverance of commencing joyous perseverance, you have stable joy. Laziness does not exist, and you are endowed with strength of body and mind. May I complete the perfection of joyous perseverance. Thus, however much joyous perseverance you have is the degree to which your desire for joyous perseverance will increase. There are 3 types of laziness that are contrary to joyous perseverance. With respect to the laziness of procrastination, this is simply postponing a virtuous activity. We should meditate on the uncertainty of the time of death as its antidote. This laziness is also the greatest obstacle to practicing Dharma. The supreme Dharma of the application of mindfulness sutra states, whatever afflictive emotions there are, have laziness as their sole basis. Wherever a lazy person exists, all dharmas do not exist in that place. With respect to laziness of discouragement, this is like thinking, how could such an inferior person as I attain such great good qualities of a Buddha? As an antidote to that, think, if the Tathagata said that even ants and flies can become enlightened if they develop joyous perseverance, then since I have attained this excellent physical form, complete with the 8 freedoms and 10 endowments, I am certainly able to also accomplish the state of enlightenment. Query, well then, how exactly am I able to accomplish the countless vast qualities of a Buddha? Reply, we should contemplate this by thinking, I am capable of accomplishing such things because there are countless various miraculous transformations of common and uncommon skillful means within the paths and deeds of a bodhisattva for accomplishing that. Therefore, accomplishing enlightenment will not be difficult. Also, if we think I am not able to practice the difficult deeds of a bodhisattva, consider the passage from Shantideva's Guide to the Bodhisattva's A Way of Life, which states, because they have abandoned negative actions, they have no suffering. Because they are learned, they are not unhappy. At that point, it is not the same as our present situation of circling in samsara through karma and afflictive emotions. Rather, they intentionally enter into a samsaric rebirth for the welfare of others out of great compassion, so they do not have suffering and instead are endowed with joy and happiness. With respect to the laziness of being attached to bad actions, this is engaging in hardships associated with meaningless activities with perseverance. Although we consider that this is joyous perseverance, following these activities with fortitude does not make them joyous perseverance. In fact, we have great familiarity with them in this life because they are associated with worldly activities of a human life. Therefore, as an antidote to this form of laziness, we should contemplate how samsaric activities are meaningless. Concentration. With respect to the nature of concentration, it remains single-pointedly on the observed object of a virtuous mind without distraction. When divided, it is divided in terms of nature and in times of its perspective and function. Wisdom. With respect to the nature of wisdom, it analyzes individual meanings or investigations. It is called wisdom because it thoroughly differentiates its object through knowledge. When divided, it is a wisdom that realizes the ultimate, realizes the conventionals, and realizes the activities for the welfare of living beings. Tranquil abiding is not the culmination of the perfection of concentration, and superior seeing is not necessarily the perfection of wisdom. Instead, their culmination occurs through the combination of tranquil abiding and superior seeing in terms of their existing concurrently. According to tradition, it is necessary to give the explanation Of the benefits of concentration and wisdom later during the sections on tranquil abiding and superior seeing. Ripening the minds of others through the 4 ways of gathering disciples. With respect to attracting a retinue through generosity, all ordinary beings find joy in material possessions. Therefore, you first bestow actual gifts of material goods to gather a circle of disciples. With respect to speaking pleasantly, this is explaining Dharma by teaching the points of accepting and rejecting. Speaking pleasantly also refers to a situation such as that with the teacher and his disciple, in which the teacher uses rough language without getting angry as a means of benefiting the disciple. Regarding applying the meaning, this is encouraging your disciples to engage in the activity of accepting and rejecting in exact accordance with the teachings of the points of accepting and rejecting by training and the precepts and so forth. Being consistent means that if you don't act in accordance with the precepts you have taught others, they will not have confidence. Not only that, but as the colloquial expression goes, whatever is spoken by Lama is teaching, yet the Lama does whatever he likes. So that we don't end up that way, we must be sure to conduct ourselves properly. Day 32. In the Songs of Spiritual Experience, Jamgon Tsongkhapa the Great states, oh, Geshe is here.
Geshe is here.
Please have a seat. Sanje chodang soje chodang lo chajo padang dale jalo nage chushe rola penje sanje rola pada la me la me aje omba la jaje la so chushe so chawa jalo sanje so la ro do chushe debe ju lo bo da je ta be chushe ne dire je namo la ga da lo dan de je ke bo da me na na ro ko je na ba ta je ke do da ke chu do 관계 도전에 손에 따왔던 점 보면서 담배 주는데 고담대라 차체로 good evening Hamula, good evening Domasi, good evening Nili, good evening Bob, good evening Helen, good evening Jill, good evening Mary, good evening Julie, good evening Michael, good evening Elise, good evening Govina, good evening Nico, good evening Carmen, good evening Karen, good evening Ryan. Thank you very much for your letter. Thank you very much for your letter and donation. Good evening Tom, just showing the fire. Good evening Patiji. Good evening Karen. Good evening Renee. Then anybody watching on YouTube, good evening. Joshua, Anthony, Alfisha, so good evening. Any questions? asking question with no sound is kind of hard to understand. Even when you achieve the clear voice related to the ear consciousness, you have to have sound.
So I guess, do you need me to read it again?
Yeah, of course, because I don't hear a word.
Okay. Yeah, my computer's acting up a little bit tonight. Okay. The question is, all of the text makes sense in terms of rational introspection. How do I deal with my emotional responses? Rationally, it all makes sense to me, but my issues are not rational, they are emotional responses.
Can you explain the question a little bit? Can you explain? Maybe I'm having a hard time understanding the question. Maybe the
I'm not sure. Maybe the questioner would like to explain.
question is very profound.
Yeah, I'll explain. Geshe, it's me.
Okay.
When I hear the text, it all makes perfect good sense to me. Like the idea of looking at things rationally and understanding that my problem is mental. I look at things incorrectly. The problem is I understand that, but emotionally, sometimes I still feel bruised. I feel all the human emotions that I've been trying to deal with all of my life. I'm going to mute.
Any donations? So, Tom, you said like all the teaching makes perfectly sense?
Yes, intellectually, it makes perfect sense. So I understand it, and rationally, I look at it and I say, absolutely. And then I fall back to the emotional idea of feeling put upon or harmed, like what most people, not necessarily good practicing Buddhists, but most people feel like is the world they live in. I'm trying to come to a means to understand that rational views are the first step, but when I practice, I'm hoping emotionally I can put my bad feelings behind me.
So can you, Tom, please, can you explain me like rational? What is rational?
Okay, rational is like an intellectual idea.
Okay.
The idea is my problem is self-grasping. I understand that. But I self-grasp all the time, Geshe.
We all do. We all do.
Yeah, but I want to stop.
So there's a huge task. There's a huge task to. Are you talking about self-grasping or self-cherishing?
I think I should have said self-cherishing. Yeah.
Okay. You know, so that's the best, like, yeah, you mean like unreasonable self-cherishing, not just self-cherishing, unreasonable self-cherishing, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, so yeah, self-cherishing does not have negative connotations. But when you say in Tibetan, Rangchinzi, it does have negative connotations. Rangchinzi, that means like only thinking about yourself. There's nothing for, there's zero for other. That kind of self-cherishing do cause a lot of complications, a lot of problems. So now see, Tom, we all know, intellectually, we all know, you know, we all know the best practice is bodhicitta. Bodhicitta is the best practice that subdue unreasonable self-cherishing mind. Bodhicitta is the best practice that will subdue or eventually eradicate unreasonable self-cherishings. So, I think first, we all should look at how much trouble causes by unreasonable self-cherishing mind. So we really need to meditate on that, or maybe as do analytical meditations, how much trouble that causes by unreasonable self-cherishing mind, Rangchenzi. So we don't need much knowledge, so we can just analyze based on our own, like unreasonable self-cherishing mind. Once you realize, so that's why, mindfulness is needed. Not, of course, if you do meditations, you probably see, all kinds of trouble that caused by, self-cherishing mind. Then, throughout the day, then you forget, then you fall back to the same self-cherishing mind. Your life is very much driven. Your life is very much driven or powered by that self-cherishing mind, and almost become like one with you. Almost feel like it's normal. It's normal. That's like it's not normal. It's not normal. But that we feel like it's normal. Actually, it's not normal. It's been normal. It's not normal. It's been normal. It's been like part of the habit. It's not part of the life. It's been like that. So the first thing, so like need to really contemplate on the amount of like complications, problem, or suffering caused by self-cherishing minds. That needs to be thoroughly analyzed. Relying on, of course, if you need some knowledge, so you can, like what Lama Tsongkhapa, Lama Atisha, all these great masters, what they said about this unreasonable self-cherishing mind, how it caused like problem. You can do review meditation. Top of that, you can do review meditation. The practical meditations to analyze how much, don't have to go from the since beginning this time. Of course, it causes all kinds of problems since beginning this time. You don't have to go to that far. Just look at the today. Just look at today. No need to go all the way to the beginning this time. Just look at the day. Now the day's ending is now begin around 6 o'clock. So now it's like ending, the day's ending. So just look back from 6 o'clock this morning to till now. Analyze, so like watch the whole video, watch the whole video. And try to remember, what happens. Oh, we went to grocery store, met that person, tried to find the parking, not able to find the parking, or like very close to find the parking, somebody just took it. All kinds of things might happen, like. So I was there in the fastness, some person that took advantage, all blah, 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 all kinds of things happen here, there. Or to us, it's kind of like sounds very mean, talking to someone on the phone, and like all kinds of things, all kinds of things happen every single day. So now, like throughout the day, like, and how much trouble they cause by self-cherishing mind. Putting yourself, putting yourself first, disregarding other person's problems, completely disregarding other person's problems. You may have no idea what other person is going through, so completely disregarding other person's like whatever that might be, like issues, problem, completely disregarding, just only thinking about what I want. So how much trouble that causes by that. Then can you imagine, like if like there's like 12 or 13 problems that caused by solely focusing on your own needs. If you realize this 12 set of problems that I face today caused by this, just thinking of myself, maybe now it's time to change. You don't want to go on like that. The life, all the energy of life will be drained, completely drained. So then you end up with like no peace in your heart. So you don't want that. So that causes analytical meditations. Oh. So then think about the way, how many good things that you did for somebody else. How many times you make how you say, you make my day? How you say, you make somebody's day? How you say?
Yes, you made my day. You
Not
make
my
somebody's
day, like somebody.
Yes,
You make
make somebody's day.
Yeah, you make somebody's day. How many of that happen? Need to know that's really practical level of practicing, subduing unreasonable self-chasing mind. And then like each time when you make somebody's days, do you really enjoy that? Saying something nice, that person smiling, kind of happy. You being part of that person's happiness. Maybe you are happy. Are you happy that you make somebody smile? You make positive comment on somebody's hair, somebody's jewelry, somebody's clothes. Doesn't cost anything. Does that make you happy if somebody smiles? That's
So I have a question about that, because I understand what you're saying, but the text was saying that I shouldn't do any of those things with the idea that I'm going to be rewarded by people saying, oh, you were so compassionate to me. And the trap for me is that I don't feel free to do things without asking for that feedback.
No.
That's just true for me. I wish it weren't, but it is.
Yeah, so I totally understand, but right now, we carry what we can carry. You can't say, oh, somebody's carrying like 200 kilos, or I'm gonna have to carry, or some says, oh, 200 kilos is the best weight, best load to carry. Maybe that's 200 pounds is the best load to carry, but at the moment, I can only carry 10 pounds. You should not, I say, feel discouraged, not able to carry 200 pounds, then you carry nothing. You even don't carry 1 pound. So there's so we do what we can do. So compared to Milarepa, yeah, so you do feel discouraged because all the practice that you do compared to Milarepa is even like almost nothing. Does that mean you do nothing? No, you do what you can do. So like that, ant carry what ant can carry. Mice carry what you can carry. Horse carry what you can carry. So like we can if I carry 200 pounds, it may break my back. That's probably not the smartest thing to do, even though that's the best thing to do. At the moment, that's not the smartest thing to do. It may break my back. So that's not what you want to do. So right now, so of course, like bodhisattva means person who has bodhicitta. So they never does anything thinking about reward. They never think about reward. They don't think about reward at all. Yet I'm not there. So I do what I can do. Even though I'm thinking about reward, that's not immoral, that's not unethical, that's ethical, that's moral. Doing anything good for others is moral. It's not like we are not yet there thinking zero reward. There's bodhisattva. Bodhisattva. When you do that, then you become bodhisattva. That means you put every situation, you put other first. But I'm not yet there. I do put myself first, number of events. But when I do that, I'm not hurting anybody, physically, mentally, verbally. I'm not hurting anybody. So like that, time is hard. Your question is very profound, and it makes complete sense. Right now, even though you are thinking about reward, please don't think that's not pure. It is pure, even though you say some nice things. Yeah, so that makes you happy. We need every single happiness we can get. We need that in order to make our life more like, mentally healthy. Mentally healthy. That's very important. So otherwise, I'm worried that we end up doing nothing because we think we are not doing the best, so better not to do. So that's not very skillful way, You do what you can do. So maybe I can sit down, or some people sit down 3, 4, 5 hours a day, meditate. But I'm not yet there. I can't sit like that. But I can sit 5 minutes, so I should be happy. I should be happy and sit 5 minutes happy. So, just make sure that we don't generate spiritual stress. You do what you can do and just be happy. Just be happy. So it's hard time. It's very hard. Before we become bodhisattva, it's very hard to do 100% for others. It's hard. It's very hard. When we do, it's like 50 for others, 50 for us. That's very good. That's very good. Even though there's like 10 for others, 90 for ourselves, very good. It's still good because somebody's benefiting. Somebody's thinking, oh, there's nice people. There's one nice person. Finally, I saw some nice person. Why that person think? Because you comment, you say something nice. That person think, oh, finally there's one nice person comes through the line. Every person complains, okay, why are you doing so fast? Why are you taking so long? Why are you not taking? Why you don't understand this, that? Finally, someone says, none of that. You say, oh, you look great. The person after person, the people who scan your food in the grocery store, person after person complain, all of a sudden somebody say, oh, you look very nice, makes them happy. So they find, oh, there are someone, a nice person. That makes them think there's hope. Not every single person is bad. That there are someone there say something nice. Even though other person getting 5, you get 95, there's good things to do. There's good things to do. So that eventually, unless when we become, doing 100% for other, that's only happen when you become bodhisattva. It's very hard. So then what Master Shantideva said, light of the path, the composed light of the path, the composed by Lama Atisha. What Lama Atisha said, the light of the path in the text. Teji Chungo Jude. If someone wants to enter into Mahana path, Munsel dunga shishabas. Munsel means eliminating the darkness and like liberating from pain. Munsel dunga shishabas. Munsel dunga shishabas. Munsel dunga shishabas. Something that eliminates the darkness and something that eliminates the pain. Nidata bi chanju sems. Sun and moon like bodhicitta. Sun and moon like bodhicitta. Kawe bebe chejang long. Kawa means eons. If you put effort eons, it is possible you could generate a bodhicitta. So now, based on that statement, bodhicitta is not easy to develop. Sorry to say, but it is possible if you put that much effort. It's not talking about years. It's talking about eons. Who said that Lama Atisha? Oh, said that I'm saying doing things for 100% for other. That takes probably, could take eons. It is possible, but it's not that quick. So if that's the case, we do for other whatever we can do, and we do. Don't think, oh, I can do 100% and do nothing. That's not good. We do what we can. That act, the small act, saying something nice, making someone else's day, that contributes to bodhicitta. That becomes the cause of bodhicitta. You to develop bodhicitta, become the cause. So don't just think, oh, it's not bodhicitta. It's not bodhicitta, but it becomes part of the process to become bodhisattva, doing things for others. Ultimately, you get immense benefit. So that's the most important. When you get benefit, when you become happy, it kind of has positive impact on your mental health. So that's most important, okay? So we do what we can do. So we don't need to worry. I totally understand, I am, I'm too familiar, I'm way too familiar with this your kind of thinking. I went through that many times, not just one time, many times. I went through the same thing many times. Yeah, sometimes you do feel discouraged, but then you need to think about from the bigger picture, Bodhicitta is like, if you put eons of effort, you could generate bodhicitta. If bodhicitta is that hard, so we need to create the cause. So every day something good, okay? Wonderful questions, huh? Anything else?
No other questions, Geshe.
Can you imagine like what bodhisattva emotion will go through every single day? When you look at, just forget about the animal beings, just look at the 6 billion human beings, just look around. What kind of news you see every day? What kind of news you hear? So then can you imagine if you have like bodhicitta, can you imagine what kind of emotion you go through? But they never get depressed. But can you imagine you are day and night thinking about the well-being of other sentient beings. So now when you see the news, so then what people are doing, how people are treating each other based on religious belief, based on race, based on different political views, based on countries, all kinds of things. So there's no how to say, becoming bodhisattva is not that easy, But it's wonderful things to do, but practically it's not that easy. Not that easy. So, yeah. So we just, intellectually practice as much as possible, then, make a strong wish to able to generate bodhicitta, without, second or delay, but practically it requires so much effort. It's not that easy to develop bodhicitta. So we need to become smarter how to mentally make your life healthier, by thinking something positive that we can do, and we can do it well, and we can do it by small scale every day. We can do small, every day. We can do something small every day. Yeah, so when we see a rich, very, very rich person, it's hard to develop compassion. We think they don't deserve compassion. Yeah, they go through a lot of problems too, but we don't see. Why we don't see? Because our understanding of dukkha is not deep. When you think about samsara as a whole, what we all go through, we are all discontent. No matter what we do, no matter how much money you have, no matter how you look, no matter how many jewelry you wear, no matter what kind of car you drive, no matter what kind of house you live in, we are all discontent. That's general complication of samsara. See, everybody going through the same thing, never content, always, most of the time discontent, not never content. Then on top of that, uncertainty of many things, The second complication of the general samsara. Oh, I don't like none of them. I really don't like them. What we should do, seek liberations. Seriously, very seriously, seek complete freedom from samsara. That's the only options. That option, you are fully equipped to reach that options. You are fully equipped to reach that options. You have marvelous brain to do that. With this physical body, this is the perfect state to achieve liberations. If you don't like that, or don't complain too much, that's a part of the package. It's part of the package. Don't complain that you have hair. Of course you're going to have hair because you have head. That's where hair grows. That's where hair also lose. Don't complain hair is losing because that's part of the package. It grows, it loses. No, don't be miserable. Don't be miserable by that. It's like, it's going against the fact. It's going against the reality. There's nothing you can do. Whatever you can do, just do. It's okay. So dye your hair, make it more dark. Nothing wrong. It's okay. Nothing wrong. But when it turns in something, when you lose something, don't be miserable. It's part of the package. Oh, I'm not content, part of the package. Oh, there's so many things, uncertainty, part of the package. Sometimes I become so happy, sometimes I go down, part of the package. That's what it's called samsara. It's not just you, everybody else. When you look around, everybody else. When you are understanding of that, general problem of samsara, then you have like foundation to sympathize with person who looks very successful. They're still going through the same thing. So Yeah, losing this body again and again, part of the package. Taking rebirth again and again, that's part of the package. Oh, here hurts a little bit here, sometimes hurts here, sometimes hurts here, sometimes pain here, pain there. Sorry, because you have the body. So that body is not going to be like a rock or tree. It's going to, there's like elements that sometimes get imbalanced, get hurt here, hurt there. And just recognizing the general complication of samsara helps to reduce unrealistic expectation that we have for this life. We have so many unrealistic expectations for this life. Oh, I have to be happy all the time. That's probably not going to happen. When you are happy, just rejoice, just enjoy. Don't expect that you are going to be happy all the time. How that can happen? How that's going to happen? How that you are going to be happy all the time? How? The question is how? Unless you are liberated, how? Yeah, once in a while you are going to get headache. Don't ever think that you are never going to get headache. That's unrealistic expectations. So just understanding of general complication of samsara automatically reduce so many unrealistic expectations. Then you live in samsara gracefully. When you get old, nothing bothers. When you get sick, there's very little negative impact in the mind because mind is well prepared. That includes death too. Death doesn't, have not much negative impact in your mind because mind is well prepared. Mind is aware of all of this. So then talk about that, oh, I read this, I read that. Now there's like 6 general complications of the samsara. Then there's like particular complication of other realms. Human realms, there's 8 of them. Human realm, there's 8 of them. Sorry, number increase. Human, there's 8 of them, number increase, Oh. Birth. Complications, birth. Getting old, complications. Sicknesses, problems. Death, problem. There's a 4 that's related to the human. Losing loved one. Not finding what you're looking for. 7. Feeling loneliness. 8. These are part of the human complications. Not because you are the only one who's going through that, that's the part of the human complication. Just knowing that. When you get sick, mentally, much better. Not physically, you're sick, mentally much better. You deal with that problems much better. Okay? So that's why I myself review all this every single day. Every single day I review 6 general complications of samsara, then complications that relate to the hell realm, complications related to the preta realm, complications related to the animal realm, complications related to the human realm. I review them every day. What I'm hoping when it happened, and I make sure I didn't get shocked, make sure I didn't get surprised. So see, now one of my eyebrow, one single hair on my, what is it called? This is called eyebrow. One of them is now white. It's never there before. One single one of them is white. When I see, oh, I know it's going to happen. It's not bothering my mind. I know it's going to happen. So, very interesting, just one. One here, just on the hair in my hand, just one single one. Right here is white, single one. And just one here. And then, of course, the many here, of course, that's getting started many here, many there. So, doesn't bother. So then, of course, I don't have choice that you do. I can't dye my color. I cannot die, but I have no wish to die. But, there's something you can do, make it more dark. I cannot do. But you have more probably good karma to do. There's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong at all. Nothing wrong. You do what you can do, make you feel good. That's what we need. We need to feel good. Whatever ways you make yourself you feel good, without disregarding other people's well-being. That's the smartest thing to do. So that I review this every day. So make sure that I don't get shocked. I don't get shocked. So make sure make sure it doesn't disturb my mind. That's most important. Make sure it doesn't disturb my mind. That's the most important thing. That's why I review them every single day. I review them every day. I said review them. Go through each one of them, remind myself. So, discontentment. That's a general complication of samsara. Don't think that you are the only one. No, everybody else. No matter what we do, we are not 100% satisfied. Therefore, you need to focus on that and try to learn how to be content. Try to learn how to be content. That's a part of the wisdom you gain, how to be content. Part of the wisdom you gain. Try to be content. Otherwise, that's one of the general complications of samsara is discontentment. Therefore, you need to learn how to be content in daily basis. Oh, wonderful, very good. Able to see, able to smell, able to hear, able to walk. Wow, very good, wonderful, wonderful. Always trying to find something to think about, something positive. Oh, very much blessed. Something like that. Or able to think, able to read, able to think. That's the most important thing, able to think. Understand, even just saying the one mantra, that's like amazing, that's really amazing, amazing. The mind is the most powerful thing. The mind is the more powerful thing compared to the physical body. Mind is the more powerful thing. Mind is the more powerful thing. There's so much that you can accomplish. Just having a clear mind, you can accomplish so much. Mind is the most powerful thing. You cannot underestimate what the mind can do. All of that is done by mind. It's not really done by physical, but it's done by mind, just by thinking. Just by thinking. See, the general complication of samsara there by thinking, So then every day, slowly get better, okay? Sorry, so much been said. So about that question, I am too familiar with that question, feeling that, not doing enough. The risk of that is then doing nothing, Or can say 108, probably not say. They end up saying not saying even just one. If you just say one, just happy, just to be happy. Even saying one Om Mani Padme Hum a day, that is wonderful things to do. That's wonderful things to do. So there's a say what you can carry, you carry. Don't look at somebody else. Don't look at the elephant. They carry 1,000 kilos. Don't try to carry 1,000 kilos. It's going to probably kill you. And then please not end up carrying nothing because not able to carry 1,000 pounds, then end up carrying nothing. That's not the smartest thing to do. If you can carry 1 pound, just carry 1 pound comfortably. Carry 1 pound. So that's better than not carrying anything. Okay. So yeah, so no spiritual stress. Please, no spiritual stress. Do what you can do, and just feel great and rejoice and hope that you can do it more in the future. Okay, that's the way to go. Okay, oh yeah. Today, Lamla, so
We have finished day 31 and we're starting day 32. But I have a question.
yeah, sure, yeah.
I've noticed that some people, and you and I, they, as soon as a negative thought pops up, as soon as a negative thought pops up, like
pops up,
attachment, anger, self-cherishing, they immediately feel bad about themselves. So, instead of pausing or analyzing or rejoicing in what they can do, as soon as it pops up, they think that they're bad. So
that approach,
they're going to pop up, right? They're going to keep popping up. So our afflictive emotions or our mental afflictions of their seeds are liberated. So shouldn't we not think bad about ourselves when those thoughts pop up all during the day? Shouldn't we just pause and analyze? And
if something good comes out of feeling bad, then there's some reason, there's some meaning. If nothing good comes out of feeling bad, then there's zero benefit. Zero benefit. That approach needs to change. That you need to change that approach. You need to change that patterns to feeling bad. There's no benefit.
well, these people think that they should always have these good thoughts.
Oh, there's too much to expect. There's too much to expect.
That's right. I mean, they think that this should be spontaneously coming up all the time.
Oh, sorry. So that's not going to happen. That's probably not going to happen.
Right.
Yeah, spontaneously popping up, positive thought, spontaneously popping up, never happened in the past. It's not going to happen now. It's not going to happen in the future. Like learning how to make banana bread, spontaneous. Spontaneous making banana bread never happened before. Spontaneous banana making banana bread, that never happened in the past. Never, it's not going to happen now. It's not going to happen in the future. We need to learn how to make banana bread. What kind of ingredients you need to put, how much. If you want to make banana bread, you need to learn. Spontaneous positive thought, possible. It's very possible. It's very possible, but effort is very much needed. Effort is very much needed. Other hand, just think about disturbing thought. How long they have been there? How long they have been there? Don't expect those negative thoughts to go away very soon or very easily. It's been there long time. It requires some effort. Mindfulness is the key. Mindfulness is the key. Mindfulness is the key to success. So being mindful. benefit. Feeling bad, I always said, if there's something good comes out of that feeling bad, there's some substance. Other than that, there's zero benefit. Why you feel bad? Instead, you can feel regret. That purifies. Regretting towards something negative is positive. Regretting towards something positive, that's negative. If you regret immediately, if you regret, that regret, power of that regret purifies, believe it or not, purifies. That very act, very thought, negative thoughts that pops up, kind of purifies. But mindfulness is the key. Mindfulness is the key. Or when the negative thoughts pops up, what kind of meditation you can do? Just stare. Just stare at the thought. Just stare at that thought. See what happens. No need to do much, just stare. When the negative thought pops up, just stare. What happened? It will disappear. Disappear. Then focus on the absence of negative thought. The very negative thought that pops up, stare. Stare. Look at it very closely. With full mindfulness, stare. What happened? It disappeared. Then focus on that absence of negative thought. Just focus there, just pause there long as you can. Then when negative thoughts pops up again, just stare. Sometimes those negative or wandering thoughts basically produced by some level of attachment. Wandering thought, generally speaking, causes by some level of attachment. Not anger, attachment. Not jealousy, usually it's attachment, some form of attachment. So then pause on that absence of thought, pause on that. When then again pops up, do the same thing. Shimji dimla chejites, shimji dimla chejites, shimji dimla chejites means with full effort and just stare. Why I should not fight? Why I should not fight? Sometimes it's better to let it go. You are going to be more success. You are going to be more success if you let it go rather than fighting. If you really want to challenge every thought that pops up, you have to be very, very mindful. You can't even space out even a second. If you space out even a second, you lose. That's one way to challenge. But you don't have to challenge, but you just look at it. Sometimes better to let it go. Just let it rise. Maybe that negative thought is like, that maybe negative thought is like a bird that kept in cage too long. Bird that kept in cage too long, every moment want to fly out, want to fly. But you are in the middle of oceans. the bird is in the middle of the ocean in the cage, probably like few months, never got a chance to fly out, desperately want to fly. And just open the cage, let it fly. Why that bird wants to fly, where that bird wants to fly, just look at the whole pattern, just release the bird. What happened, that bird will fly and go round, middle of the ocean, there's nothing to land. Boat is the only place to land. Boat is the only place to land. It will eventually come back to the boat. It will be relaxed. Now realize nowhere to go. Realize nowhere to go. You know, this is the only place we can. This is the only place we can land. There's nowhere else to go. Same. The thought is the same. Like wanting to like rise and like just let it rise. And just look at the pattern. Why is it want to rise? Why? Like how long? The nature of the thought, it doesn't last very long. If it lasts, every negative thought that pops up lasts like months and months, we are already dead long before we are probably right after we are, the negative thought, if that energy, negative energy lasts a long time, probably finish. The life is not going to live that long. For example, anger. You know how the anger will last, how long anger lasts? It happened very quick. If that same amount of energy lasts, one day probably finished, probably will be dead. So that's the nature of thought. It doesn't last very long. That's why stare. And sometimes don't hold, just let it go. Just simply recognize and look at. So then please, there's too much to expect that positive thought will be spontaneous. That's probably right at the moment, too much to expect. Positive thought needs to be developed based on meditation, based on reading spiritual materials, reciting mantra, doing prayer and practice. That's why we all do this, looking at the holy image, reminding how they become holy, all of that. We need a lot of help. We need lots and lots of help to develop positive thought. It's not going to be spontaneous, but it's possible. It will happen. So see, compared to from this year to 5 years ago, don't compare from today to yesterday. That's too close. Compare from this year to 5 years ago. Did you make progress? Yeah. Oh, that's the sign that you can be liberated. You can get enlightened. Because 5 years ago, when somebody says something, I just bust. I just explode like atom bomb. Now I don't. I just maybe see there's just an echo, no substance. It's for me just echo. It's just echo. It doesn't have any substance. How I learned that from the mind training test. I trained myself to see there's no substance. There's no echo, I learned. First I learned, and I thought about that again and again. So then I implemented. One day I implemented, somebody said something, I did, that didn't bother me. Oh, that's called practice, So like 4 years ago, I will just explore like atom bomb. So now I don't. Oh, that's the progress. Oh, so that is liberations. You liberated yourself from one word that you explore like atom bomb. Now you don't. You are liberated from that. Slowly, okay? Slowly. No, don't expect that everything will happen so fast. That's the sign of weakness. there's a sign of weakness. Things will happen eventually. It will happen through the power of your spiritual practice. It will happen through the power of your spiritual practice, or your meditation, your mantra recitation, your prayers. It will happen eventually. If it won't happen right away, maybe it will happen slowly. It will happen. It happened to somebody else. It happened to some other human beings. Why it doesn't happen to you? It will happen. Slowly it will happen. Okay. As I said last Sunday, so now I think if I put effort, maybe I have all the knowledge, not all the knowledge, I have enough knowledge. If I want to seriously meditate on Shunyata, I think I can do. Before I never thought I can meditate on Shunyata. Now I do have some confidence. If I really want to dedicate the rest of my life, meditate on Shunyata, I felt I have enough knowledge that I could make some progress. So every knowledge is the result of effort. No effort, there will be no knowledge. Every meditative experience is the result of effort. No effort, there will be no result. No going to gym, there will be no muscle here. What do you call this called? What is this called?
That's a bicep.
Huh?
That muscle is called the bicep, I think.
Bicycle?
Bicep.
Bicep. Hurt. So like going to gym, lifting the weight all the time, it will happen. Something wrong will happen here. Just staying home, hoping to have like this, it's never going to happen. It never happened in the past. It's not going to happen now. It's not going to happen in the future. Just by sitting on the couch and hoping to have this something big here, that's not going to happen. It only happens somebody go to gym, put some effort every day. It doesn't happen first day in the gym. It doesn't happen like this. It happens gradually. Same thing in the mind, it happened gradually. Slowly start to change. Slowly. Like going to like gym, Slowly. Then the second day, first day you hurt a little bit. I've never lifted up any weight. But first day hurt, second day hurt, then there's a hurting. It's getting better, and the second day doesn't hurt. First day, maybe a few days, very hurt, like all the muscle hurt. Then after a few days, doesn't hurt, become easier. Then slowly see there's something around here. Slowly. It doesn't happen the first day. Same thing, without effort. Nothing happens. So effort. So then you put effort. What kind of effort you can put? Just put in. Be happy, rejoice. Or don't think, I cannot put like 5 hours of effort. It's okay. Nobody did that right from the beginning. It kind of builds up. Slowly. Okay. My point is, all of my friends, don't discourage. You do what you can do. So then there will be result. Result. Okay. Then, expecting the positive thought will be spontaneous and like to be happy all the time. This is too much to expect. Not too much to expect. Just think about the general complication of samsara. Just think about the complication, the particular complication of human beings. Based on that, how you can expect be happy all the time. That's not going to happen. Need to liberate. And just to be happy that you are enjoying some happiness here, there, just rejoice. Just rejoice and feel grateful. Okay. Oh yeah. What time now? I think like time is over.
Yes.
Time is over. Thank you very much and all the wonderful questions. So, and hopefully a few weeks, then this text will be finished. So then the next teaching is going to be on King of Prayer, wonderful books. So requested by Julie. So and start that. Okay. Next after this class. Huh? Thank you very much, and have a wonderful night. See you next Wednesday. Okay. Yeah.
Thank you, Geshe.
Thank you, Geshe.
We start with the dedication prayers. Due to the merits of these virtuous actions, may we quickly attain the state of a Guru Buddha, all living beings without exception, into that enlightened state. May the supreme jewel bodhicitta that has not arisen arise and grow, and may that which has arisen not diminish, but increase more and more. Just as the brave Manjushri and Samantabhadra too realize things as they are, I too dedicate all these merits in the best way that I may follow their perfect example. I dedicate all these fruits of virtue with the dedication praises the best by the victorious ones Askan of the 3 times, so we might perform good works. We dedicate whatever virtues we have collected for the benefit of the teachings and of all sentient beings, and in particular for the essential teachings of perfect pure low Sangdrapa to shine forever. So now the long life prayers. In the land encircled by snow mountains, you are the source of all happiness and good. All powerful Chen Reizig Tenzin Gyatso, please remain until samsara ends. The one who mastered his speech at a very young age, the one of great patience who received the name Avatare, the one with great precision who spread the teachings of Lama Tsongkhapa on Bliss and Void, Lama ornament of the yellow hat tradition, please remain until samsara ends. You will uphold the subduer's moral way, who serves the bountiful bearer of all, sustaining, preserving, and spreading Manjuna's victorious doctrine, who masterfully accomplish magnificent prayers honoring the 3 jewels, save for myself and others, your disciples. Please, please live long. And of course, 7 Tar mantras for Geshe-la and Geshe Sangpo's long, healthy, happy lives. Om tare tu re so ha. 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 Om tare tu re so ha.
Oh yeah, thank you. Have a wonderful night and see you. Huh?
Thank you, Geshe-la. Good night.
Thank you,
Good night. Thank you.
Thank you, Lamrim.
Thank you, Geshe-la. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Donna-la. Thank you, Lama-la.